Ah. Oh, wow. He's huge. Well, Godspeed him. Oh, hi! Don't mind me. I was just reading a good old, Monster and the Beast, a pretty underrated manga, so, Oh, yeah. It's them. Oh my god, they invaded my desk. Now they're just little beans on my desk. They're on the other side, too, if you, if you wanted to know. They're in little Sanrio outfits. Isn't that just adorable? Hello, my lovelies. Welcome to the true retrospective of Season 3 of Osomatsu-San. Isn't this kind of familiar? Well, not really, because what I tried to do beforehand was basically do, like, reviews of each of the episodes, literally being 2 that I did, and I'm gonna be for real, it just didn't work at all. I felt like it just completely fumbled it because, first of all, I cannot read a script for the life of me. I can only do things like bullet by bullet, and looking back on it, it just felt so disconnected. It didn't feel like I was like being really genuine with it because I was reading it from a script and it felt so robotic, and it didn't seem interesting to me at all, like looking back on the project. And doing a whole review type of series, like episode by episode for a series like Osomatsu-San, just doesn't work. It just felt so clunky, and I think just reviewing it as a whole, as like a season, just works way better than just trying to tackle it piece by piece. Like, I'd rather just tackle it together, which I'm doing today. But before I talk about my whole viewpoints about Season 3, let's just talk about a couple of things before diving into it. The biggest thing, the biggest elephant, why didn't I react to Season 3? And that is really simple. I was really tired. I first started doing reactions because I found a specific YouTuber, which I don't think he exists on the platform anymore because maybe his whole channel got taken down by copyright or something, which I will be talking about in a second. He was a guy who did a lot of like Death Note reactions, and I really like the way that he edited it down to be the best parts of the reactions, and I'm like, I want to do that too. And I didn't do it for like any kind of anime when I started out with. Like, I didn't do any of the popular animes that was coming out at the time when I first started doing reactions. The first reaction that is still on my channel after 10 years later is an anime that is not from the 2000s, nor the 90s. It is an OVA of Bao, and only people who are hardcore JoJo fans, who are massive fans of Araki, know what Bao is. Like, I just watched it because it looked cool. I didn't really watch it because it was the hot new thing at the time. It's Bao! Legit, check it out. Bao is actually really cool, and the reaction itself is not really that good. I was eating a bag of chips. It was easy to make, and looking back at it, yeah, it's kind of its time. It was just something easy I could have done, and I thought it would be fun. And that was like way before I started like using like face cam for like my reactions, so it felt really disconnected. Like, you didn't get to see my facial reaction about any of it. You just hear me eating a bag of chips. Now that by itself is really funny, but like what I'm going for with this is that I didn't really start doing reactions because during the time where I started doing reactions, it was the hip popular thing to do. And I know that reactions are still prevalent no matter how many years go by. I legitimately did it because it looked fun. Like, I didn't really go into it looking for views or anything. With everything that's on my channel, whether it be Let's Plays or art videos or anime manga videos, I do it because I have a lot to say about it, or it's just things I'm really passionate about. It's like, yes, there are a plethora of Let's Play videos on my channel because I just like gaming. Everything that I do on the channel has sort of an inspiration what I got from other people that I've watched, like, currently or back then. Like, Let's Plays I started doing because the two best friends play. I did reactions because of the guy that I aforementioned, and I started doing like art commentary videos because there's a plethora of those that I was like, hey, I'm an artist, I have things to say, I want to do more of those. Or like anime or manga reviews, specifically anime because of Bent the Sage, because I have a lot to say about the animes that I like or dislike. Everything's connected. It's like Kingdom Hearts. Reconnect. But I really did reactions because it was just fun, you know? I had a lot to say about them, and I still do, because when I watch things, I kid you not, I always have things to say. It doesn't matter if I'm alone or if I'm with friends, I always have something to say when I'm watching something. Like, of course, I'm not gonna do that when I'm in like a movie theater watching like Sonic Movie 3. I will cheer I will cheer when Sonic and Shadow do that little spin when they're holding hands, and I'm like, oh, they're so cute. But generally, I always have things to say about it, and that's why I did anime reactions in the first place, and just how a lot of people felt connected because of the reactions that I did. Just seeing people like comment being like, oh, this is how I reacted to the scene, or it feels good not to be alone liking this sort of thing, and that wasn't even something I was expecting at the time, and I still don't even expect that when it comes to that, because it just feels so nice for people to collectively come together and be like, this is a funny show about a bunch of needs, ha ha ha. And it's like legitimately like really touching just to see this sort of like big but kind of small community sort of like centering around a show like this. It's absolutely kind of like very surprising, but also really cool at the same time. And yeah, and like with Osomatsu-San, I just really just wanted to watch it by itself because the art style was something that I just haven't seen in a long time. I haven't seen like a really cartoonish art style or like something that's like non-traditionally what you think of like anime since maybe like Kaiba or something. Like I know there's like Penny and Stalking and other plethora of types of animes that don't traditionally have the specific anime art style that a lot of people were used to, but it was just really cool just to see this like unique art style, and it was very colorful. And I saw the Obama clip, so I had to go watch it, and I had just a really, really fun time of it, and that's why I started watching Osomatsu-San in the first place, and I just chose it one day to just be something that I reacted to. I'm like, it's a comedy series. This should be really interesting, and it was. Seasons 1 and 2 were absolutely a blast to watch. And don't worry, I will talk about the movie someday, because I have a lot of good things to say about the movie. And then we have Season 3, which I will talk about in just a second, just a couple more things, I promise, please don't go anywhere. The other thing I just kind of stopped doing reactions is just... it's copyright, man. Like, copyright gets videos. And it's really annoying. Like, no matter how much I make the video transparent, no matter how many times I go back and take out certain parts of it so it doesn't like trigger anything in the YouTube system or whatever they have going for it, some things just get triggered by copyright, and I don't want to lose my channel, so I just either have to like, you know, try to cut out the specific parts that get triggered by it, or just delete the video entirely, because I'm not risking my channel being taken down because of a reaction, you know? And that's just one of the things that maybe just made me really peeved about having to do like these sort of like twists and turns for YouTube, because like the way that I do reactions and how I always did reactions is I keep to the best parts that I have things to say, or I have the most exaggerated reactions, because I do, as mentioned previously beforehand, because I don't leave an entire episode unedited on my channel, because to me, I think that's the most boring thing ever. When I watched that old reaction person back in the day, he used to just cut to the best parts. I'm like, wow, that's really funny. And that's what I did. And that leads to like another thing, like one more issue. I really didn't like how there were some certain people, not everybody, because there are a lot of good lovelies out there, but there were some people who told me to just be quiet and shut up. I'm like, honey, the title of the video says reaction. Me! Reaction to that! That's how all of my reactions were. It's in the title of it. I didn't want my whole video to be used as an excuse to watch the anime. Like, you can either find it on legal sources or go be a pirate or something. Like, I am not the source of you being able to watch your favorite show. I don't allow that. That's why I cut up the episodes. That's why I make the video transparent. That's why I do all these sorts of things, so that way it's not the experience of how people can watch these episodes. It's like, just define them on your own. And that might just be me being maybe a tad bit harsh, but it's just something that really just weighed on me and just made me become less and less enthusiastic about doing like reactions. And that's not everyone, like, you know, like there are a plethora of more people who are more respectful in that regard. I'm not saying that everyone was awful because of this, like, no, not even at all. I just want to be honest in saying that it's just that, you know, with the copyrights and then certain people not really respecting that, I, you know, don't want them to use me as a way to watch a series. That's why I just like slowly stopped doing reactions. And plus I wanted to focus on other things. Like I've been doing more anime talks about like my first impressions of like a season or like a couple of episodes depending, and you know, wanting to be more involved and being more analytical of things, but also being like hoo hoo ha ha funny at the same time, you know? I wanted to be a lot more like, you know, fun and personal with a couple of things, and yeah, and then slowly but surely they kind of just like faded off to obscurity, really. And it's not like I don't have really fond memories when it comes to like reaction series. I do. I have like a lot of fondness when it came to Osomatsu-San and like JoJo or something like that. Yeah, it's it'd be a long time. Like a lot of things have changed ever since I'd done my season 2 reaction to Osomatsu-San. Like I graduated college. I've moved to my own place, I had a career job, and then I got laid off in March, and here I am now. I also got like a cat too. She's just out there, her name's Kiki, she's vibing. I have like a whole like vlog video about her, having her for 1 year. It's a really cute video. If you like cats, you should check it out, it's very adorable. Passage of time happened since then, and it's kind of like crazy to look back of like where I used to be versus where I'm at now. Like everything's different, the setup is different, things are different. Everything's different, and you know what? I'm fine with that. I'm fine that things are changing. I feel like I'm evolving with my own skills and what I want to go with the channel, which is basically whatever I really want to do, because by the end of the day, this is a channel that I'm just showing my passions and that I can share with all of you, and if you feel connected in that way, that makes me really happy, because I want it to be just a fun little space where everyone can just feel welcomed and they can feel like they can just have something to connect with if they, you know, find that, ooh, I also like Sonic, or ooh, I also like art, ooh, I also like this anime that you talk about, or blah blah blah. I wanted to just be just whatever it is a channel that is all about passion by the end of the day. And I just want to just like start out this whole video about that because, yeah, I just wanted to be honest. I wanted to just like pinpoint why I just stopped really doing a lot of like reactions, and by the end of the video I might mention a couple of things that may perhaps not particularly go away all the way through, but that's the end of the video. We got to talk about season 3 finally. Enough about that. Let's talk about season 3 and how it was kind of underwhelming. It was really underwhelming. So what makes season 3 a lot more lackluster instead of the previous seasons? It's just the vibe is just massively different. Like, it has like a very more mild vibe, and I don't think a lot of the comedy really hits that well. All around, there's a lot of things that just work against season 3 than it actually works for it, like the 2 other seasons, or even the movie for that matter. And there's a big elephant in the room as to why season 3 just didn't work. Half of it was about 2 characters that really weren't interesting. The rice balls, or aka the AI robots. They introduced them in like episode 2. They want to be there to like help out the brothers, not be lazy, and actually like figure out what the heck's wrong with them, like figure things out in life with them, and like, the premise is there. I get the concept that they're going for. Like, they're introducing characters that have a lot more logic. They question the things around them, like, why does Dekapon not have a shirt? Why does Dione have, like, a big old mouth that sucks in things like Kirby? And try to make sense of things that really don't need logic in a world where logic really doesn't matter. Like, I get that as a commentary thing, and how it's like, you don't need to question these things, they just happen, like, sure, and I think that only can really work for a couple of episodes. Like, the first 12 episodes have some sort of focus on the whole rice ball things, and like, ooh, they're collecting data on the needs, and they always go back to the factory, and they come back with nothing, and then they become, like, worthless, and there's a new AI that gets introduced, and then the AIs, the brothers are like, we want them back, and they go try to rescue them, and the needs... The robots become neat robots, which I think is like a funny outcome for the characters, and I feel like that's where their character arc should have ended. But no, they're like, shoot, what do we do with the rice ball characters now? Let's make them try to be comedians, and everything about the rice balls. Like, the premise is like, the concept is there, it's just so boring. And I hate to say that, because I don't really like to think about Osomatsu-San and boring in the same sentence, but there was a lot of boring elements in season 3, and I really hate to say it, but it's true. Especially the second half and a couple of episodes that I'm gonna talk about in just a second. There are some good in this, don't worry, I'm not gonna be all negative about season 3, but holy moly, was I boring. yeah, like the rice balls just kind of become just very bland background characters, and they just kind of like just laze around, not really adding anything to like the world itself by the end of it. And like there are episodes of them try to like build themselves as being comedians. It's so boring, and like them try to be funny is so boring, and the sort of outcome to the whole like robot competition thing is so boring. Like the whole them sitting in the waiting room and then talking to like a Yami and Shibita robot that come out of nowhere, and they talk, and I just start to dissociate because I'm so bored. And then like the whole outcome of them like winning just came from them like hypnotizing everybody, so like all of that was pointless. Like all of that build up for them being like the most funniest robots ever just kind of shattered because haha, now everyone actually likes their jokes because we hypnotized them to like it. It's like, why even work that hard to even try to be funny when you can just like manipulate people to think that you're funny? Like, it doesn't work. It's not funny. It's just so bland, and I hope they get like a little bit more, because they are gonna be in season 4. Like, they're in the promotional art, they're in the trailer for season 4, so hopefully they can be utilized for something better, hopefully. Like I said, there's stuff that can be used for, like, there's plenty of background characters that are interesting in the Osomatsu-San universe, just not these two. They're so boring, and that other, like, important AI that comes to, like, be a better AI from the other two rice balls, you don't see that robot again. He's just like, ah, I did it, and then he leaves. I'm like, what was the point of you being introduced? Is it because you just want to show that the mom likes robots? I mean, like, base, but like, if she's a married woman, what are you doing? I don't know. It's just the most biggest wasted opportunity, and that was just half of the first. It was. Talking about them literally took like the life force out of me. Just the first half of season 3 was just all about that, and then the second half is just bye. Goodbye to all of that, I guess. And then the second half, God bless, those last couple episodes of season 3 really didn't really keep my attention. And I have great attention spam. It's just the last couple episodes of season 3 were just so nothing. Like, nothing at all, except for like one episode, which I'll talk about. You know, like season 3, it's kind of like Shrek the Third. No one really likes it, I guess. Maybe season 4 can be Forever After, whatever the 4th sequel was of Shrek. It could be the hidden gem. Anyways, yeah, the rice balls are probably the worst aspect of season 3. I think everyone kind of collectively agrees, and I mean, if you don't, it's fine. Also, by the way, if you like season 3, that's perfectly an acceptable opinion to have. I'm not here to like destroy your whole worldview of season 3. I'm just very massively critical of the things that I like, so and the thing is, I just massively care about Osomatsu-San, so it's just really sad about how season 3 turned out, which, you know, I can critique it, but there's also kind of a theory way as to why I think season 3 turned out the way that it did, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. But let's talk about other things before I jump ahead of that. I think to really just underline just how underwhelming season 3 was just by the first episode of the season. It was just underwhelming. The whole thing was just identity theft, and, you know, the brothers just like kind of wasting time and, you know, wanting to make like a proper anime. Like, guys, you've done that before. You did that in season 2 episode 1. That was the whole premise. But season 2 was way more creative because they mixed so many different types of like genres in one. Like, you have like 3D jutsumatsu and freaking real life Toddy. Like, those are just hilarious like visual gags and concepts, and they deliver really well in that regard. In season 1 and episode 1 was so iconic that it doesn't exist anymore. Because it broke so many copyright laws that it just poof, it doesn't exist anymore. Like, not at all. But you know, speaking of season 1 episode 1, I know it's not on my channel anymore because YouTube had to take it down, which I understand, but if you missed that video on my channel, you can go to Nico Nico Doga and watch that exact video that a lovely uploaded on Nico Nico Doga. Go check it out if you missed my season 1 episode 1 reaction. It's still up there. I checked recently. They just put like a black like little like censor bar over it so you can still kind of see what's going on, but also not to the extent that maybe it wouldn't trigger anything on their website. Go check it out. I was actually massively surprised that it's up there. I have long hair, and it's really weird to see me with long hair nowadays. I like short hair nowadays. But yeah, just like, I can't even like, I remember they turned into poop. They turned into poop in like the season 3, episode 1, and they were like poop for like half of it, and nothing visually interesting like really happened. It's just like, oh no, by the end of the episode, like the brothers went rogue and killed the fakers, I guess, and it's so underwhelming. At least we got like a cool mech fight in freaking episode 1 of season 2. At least it was like visually like captivating, and it just felt so grand in its production and things like that. It's just like season 3, it just felt so like it didn't really make like a good first impression. I rewatched it twice in a row, by the way, for me taking notes and me taking footage of it. But it's just, I don't think of a grand season opening. I don't think about season 3. I think about seasons 1 and 2. And like season 1's just funny to think about because it got Snap. It doesn't exist anymore, and that's freaking hilarious. And I don't know, I guess that was just a good sort of reminder of like how the rest of the season kind of went. It's just a lot of the gags didn't really hit. I know that comedy is very subjective depending on who you ask. Maybe people found season 3 really hilarious, and maybe season 2 not really that funny. There's a lot of people that may not find stuff like Panty and Stocking funny because they don't really care about like the very strong sexual humor, or maybe people don't particularly care about ghost stories because of its very dark humor. Or, you know, there's people like me who think that Golden Boy is like peak comedy, you know?
So, how do you like my swimming?
It's very different from one person to person, but to me, season 3 felt like it was rechecking a lot of territory, as well as just being so bland in its comedy as well as its delivery. Because there's just so many like meandering types of like comedy scenes, and even like certain skits just feeling like they were going on and on and on forever. It was like really massively dragging out. And I think literally the biggest one that I can think of that I didn't even like connect the dots until I was like recently like rewatching things and taking notes of things is the calming detective. I'm comparing the ones to season 1 episode 8 to season 3 episode 10. Season 1 was a lot more funnier because I feel like it was I was literally just amazed by just how season 3 literally tried to copy its own homework and just failed to understand why the calming detective episode in season 1 was really, really funny in its delivery, because it's in the same location of both scenarios. There's a werewolf in the season 3 version, and they have like this whole like big detective like investigation squad in the first season, and how Osomatsu is introduced is a lot more sooner than it is in season 3. It kind of like drags out and is like, oh, it's a big reveal, it's Detective Osomatsu, which was a really hilarious episode in season 1. But it literally is the same thing, but worse, because like season 1, it made it so funny because that nobody interacted with Ichimatsu, which everyone thought that was the killer, and then ends up being like another guy, and then there's just like a lot more people to kind of like realize that, oh, he's so funny, he really does like calm the mood, and there's a lot more like reactionary things that make it more funnier. Like there's a lot more of like, I don't know, like interesting shots throughout it, and I don't know, it's just more goofier. And like season 3 just feels a lot more emptier. Like it's in the same location, the scenario's different, they actually do interact with the actual killer being Ichi Wolf. I don't know. And it plays out by the end of it the same, but less interesting. It's like everyone dies because werewolves come in the scene and just eat everybody, and the same joke of like all the different camera angles going on for too long, but it was way more annoying in season 3, and it was actually enduring in season 1 because it's literally the same joke. It just doesn't work in season 3 because I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, this is familiar. Yes, that's because it is. I wanted to defend season 3 as much as possible, but the more that I thought about it, the more critical I got over it, and I just felt so bad, but I can't help it. It's just so... it hurts my little heart. And honestly, just so much of just episodes that just... I can't even remember some of them, even though I just like rewatched the series. A lot of the good episodes are kind of like buried deep between like very mediocre, just like non-interesting episodes. And I think the other problem is that some of these characters don't really get utilized that much. Like, a lot of the background characters, besides like maybe Totoko or Nyan-chan, really get anything whatsoever. Like, Iyami and Chibita, you know, the stars of Otsumatsu-kun, they don't get barely anything in this season. it's upsetting because I really like Yami and Chibita's characters. Or Dekapon, or Dion, or Hatabo. Like, I truly like all of these side characters, and it also doesn't help that I also really like Osomatsu-kun. I want to see more of them. They're fun, cool characters, and they focus on the AI. I'm like, why did you do this? You could have, like, inputted, like, more episodes surrounding these characters, and, like, there's even, there's, like, Dekapon's, like, lab, which we didn't go to at all in Season 3. I double-checked. You go to it Season 1, 2, the movie, but you don't go in it at all in Season 3. I was like, this is so disconnected. Like, you get, like, the shot of it and, like, the opening of Season 3, but you never interact with that location at all. It just felt so too condensed and rarely really stretches out when it comes to, like, the areas that we got used to. Like, there was, like, no, like, scene in Season 3 where, you know, they go to that little, like, fishing area or anything. There's just, like, some locations that they never, like, go back to or something. And it just felt so empty, honestly. And I was like, you know, there's, like, a plethora of so many different types of characters in the series, but they're all just kind of vanished. They kind of just poofed for this whole entire season. There's not really a lot going for them. And it's a shame. Like I said before, I like these characters. They're goofy in their own right. And even the brothers, the sweet honey boo boo bears that are Karamatsu and Jutsumatsu, like my two favorite honeys, they barely get anything this season at all. Like, they get like a couple. Like, there's a cute little skit where like Karamatsu and Jutsumatsu are like hanging out in a convenience store, and he's like, oh, you found a coin, treat it like your own. And then Jutsumatsu's like, I'm just gonna return it to the police office. And I don't know, that was cute, even though it was like a mini tiny skit. You know, actually, I like all like the weird mini convenience store skits for some reason, because I just think all of them are like funny, haha, like a good little like giggle kind of like skit. Like, I like the skit where Otsumatsu and Toddy are like yelling at condoms. I don't know, I just thought that whole concept was just like, imagine seeing that in real life. Two grown men yelling that they want to buy condoms. I'm like, yeah, that would be really weird to see in real life, and I think that's what made that whole entire scene just more funny to me. I'm like, yeah, you get it past that skit, or just like Chodomatsu and Ichimatsu just like vibing together and like don't want to feel like inconvenience to like the people working there. It's like, shoot, we're not loitering, are we? No, we bought stuff, it's fine, it's okay. And they keep like being socially weird and stuff. I'm like, that's cute. And also more interactions between Chodomatsu and Ichimatsu. It's very, very cute. And like I said before, the whole Karamatsu and Jutsumatsu thing was cute, but other than that, there really wasn't anything for those two, and it sucks because Jutsumatsu is my son, and I want to smooch Karamatsu. I'm like, I want to see more of these two. Thank God I rewatched the movie. At least Karamatsu is like somewhat of the focus of that movie. I don't know. There's like so many moments in this video I'm like, I could stop talking. I really could, but I have to keep moving forward. You know, I have to keep talking about this because there are some good. I promise. I promise. There are like some skits that I did like in this season, but probably not for the reason that this specific episode wanted me to. Like, there was this whole like little parody skit about like magical girls and stuff, and I was so distracted by Ichimatsu's voice because it's more higher pitched. And it reminded me of another anime that wasn't the one I was currently watching. I like BL anime. I was like, I can't think of anything else. I'm sorry, guys. I watched too much earlier BL anime. I just can't. And also, like, god dang, that RoboCop parody episode was... It wasn't good. It wasn't good. Like, I don't mind, like, you know, pop culture references or anything of that sort, but, man... Why did they have to drag out the credit scene for so long? I get the joke was like they're showing scenes we didn't see in the actual episode, but oh my god. That went on way longer than it needed to. Like, I can literally probably count the seconds for how long that went on for. It was like half the episode felt like credits. I was like, ugh. Why did you have to, like, I get it, haha, you know, Seimatsu became RoboCop and that's the whole thing. And that's it. They didn't really do anything, like, interesting with that. At least with, like, the Osomatsu-San movie, they did, like, a Back to the Future parody for, like, one scene, and it was really funny. Like, I watched it with my friend. and we just like laughed at it because it was like, haha, look, it's Back to the Future, and it fit into the whole entirety of the scenario. It's funny. But it's just like, here's a very cut and dry, very boring RoboCop episode. That's the joke. It's RoboCop. I don't know. Or like a parody of like Real Ninja Warriors with the F6 brothers. Why are they all gotta look like they gotta kiss each other? I don't like Biamatsu! Like, I don't care if they're not related in the F6 form. It's so weird. I think they are still brothers in that form. Don't kiss each other. Don't move back a little bit. You're brothers, God. Step back. Stop. Like, despite all of that complaint that I had, there are good stuff that is in this season. Even when I talked about how there was a bunch of side characters that really weren't utilized, I think there was one character that I'm actually really happy that they did focus on, which was Nyan-chan. Actually had a lot of, like, character development for the season, which she didn't, like, the past 2 seasons, or the movie. I mean, the movie showed that she knew Totoko-chan, like, prior to, like, present day. That was it, but they actually gave her a lot more depth, because despite Osomatsu-San being a comedy, it's also about his characters, and I'm really glad that Nyan-chan, a character that I like, got a lot more going for her. She is a struggling single mother, just trying to make the best being, like, an idol, and try to support her child the very best that she can, and her and, like, Totoko kind of become closer in that manner because of it, and even team up and become, like wrestlers for, like, one episode. I kind of wish they kind of continue at that, or maybe they do. I don't know. Maybe they might come back in season 4. I hope it's so. That'd be... Can you just be idols and wrestlers at the same time? You can like combine those two. I don't think that's ever been done before, or it has. Like, there's like baby metal. How about just be baby wrestlers? Or just be them slapping each other if you did that. And like the episode where like Nyan-chan falls in love with Osomatsu? Good episode. I really like that episode because everyone's like, oh god, don't date Osomatsu. He's like stinky. He's not good for you. He's the worst out of all of us. You're gonna regret it. And Nyan's like, no, I love him. He's so gross. I love him. He farts and he does all these things and I think it's really cute. And I'm like, that's funny. And I really like how she's just like trying to justify it. And then by the end of the episode, she like comes out of it. She's like, I've made a mistake, and just like turns Osomatsu-san down even though she asked him out. And like you get like also like a little glimpse of like Osomatsu being absolutely just super shy and like fumbling about even thinking about going out with Nyan-chan. It's cute. There's like another hint about just Osomatsu just kind of being as socially awkward as characters like Ichimatsu or Chonomatsu sometimes. It's adorable. Like he just like starts to like sweat and just feels like he doesn't know what to do. It's legitimately really, really adorable. And like there is like some like characters that do get a little bit more of like spotlight. Like Toddy and Ichimatsu definitely get a lot more going for them in this season, because there's like a lot of episodes that I didn't particularly mind when it came to like Toddy. When it came to probably one of my weirdest favorite skits being just Ichimatsu just having like this secret podcast. I'm just like, the premise is so weird that I feel like this fits perfectly just about how socially awkward Ichimatsu is. And it does, and I found it really hilarious that it just kept going, and Tony's like, you have a staff? You have, like, a food? You have sponsors? You have questions that you wrote to yourself? Like, I'm like, this is great, I love this skit. Or, like, him just being done with Chonomatsu, just, like, having, like, this whole gallery to himself. And then I thought about it again, I'm like, wait a second, season 2, episode 1 did that whole exact same skit, but funnier, because I had all the brothers. But at least Toddy's just like, wow, this is all, like, ridiculous, this didn't happen. I did like the moments where he's just like, this is me on my first day. He's like, that didn't happen yet. I'm like, that's pretty good. That got me a little chuckle out of there. I think Karamatsu being a bartender is a cool concept, and, like, the only time we get to see the girly Matsus, not even all of them, just 2 of them, I'm like, where are the other girlies at? I miss the girlies. I miss the girly pops. I also think like the whole premise of like Chonomatsu kind of like having this like friend that he used to share like porno with, but like the end of it, it never happened. I was like, okay. So like little fan service of the movie if you saw it. So with high schooler Chonomatsu, I thought that was cute, even though by the end of it, I was like, this is also kind of dragging out, but not too terribly. I was like, okay, this is fun. This is cute. And then like they gotta bury the body, and it was like, oh, it's just a blow-up doll. I don't know. I was like, that's fine. That's cute. That's cute thinking that they murdered somebody, but they actually buried a blow-up doll. How adorable. Also, I think, like, the Cinderella skit with, like, Totoko was fun, especially when, you know, she was with Nyan-chan. They should have kissed! So disappointed. Nyan-chan and Totoko should have kissed. Season 4, make it happen. They could be mothers together. Let's go, queens. Also, not, like, too much stuff going on with Totoko now that I think about it this season, too. Once again, as I alliterate, and not a lot of characters being utilized to how they should be. Not even the parents! I didn't even bring up the parents! Oh my god. Like, I love the parents of Osomatsu-San. There was, like, an episode about, like, them trying to get, like, cup noodles, and that was, like, the only episode they really had with, like, the mom, because she was, like, really good at, like, snapping down her, like, like, her sons, or, like, the hide-and-seek one where she went, like, predator mode and also killed her sons. She really wants to kill her kids. But, like, I think about, like, episodes like the one in season 2 where the dad's just trying to, like, rekindle, like, a good relationship with his wife, and, like, the brother's, like, somewhat trying to make him sort of, like, a neat or, like, reverse to being a virgin. And then, like, by the end of the episode, it all just kind of, like, comes together being like, you know, this is great, this is wonderful, everything's fine, our marriage is great, I love you, you're wonderful. Wahoo. They really get, like, that much, like, focus either, once again, in season 3, and I like the parents, they're fun, and they have, like, really good, fun chemistry, and that's another thing that I miss. I'm going back to the negatives. There's another thing, there's one more thing I want to talk before I go back to the positives. This video is everywhere, I'm getting somewhere, I promise. Freaking... They never go back to trying to find a job. I don't know, I kind of like that whole sort of concept of them trying to have jobs again. I'll talk about maybe why maybe that wasn't the case in this season, but I also really like how they actually try to get out there and actually look for a job, because, you know, they were season 1 with, like, the second episode, there was, you know, episode 24, that whole plot point, or, like, a couple of episodes where, like, Toddy's at a cafe, or Ichimatsu is at, like, a cat cafe, and all the brothers, you know, throughout the season of, like, 1 and 2, tried, like, different varieties of, like, jobs and stuff. Season 3 didn't have any of that, and I don't know, I really like how they actually tried to have a job, even for, like, an episode or, like, a second. It was something that was kind of missed, and, yeah. Anyways, sorry, back to the positives, I swear. I will say there were actually a good couple of, like, episodes that actually do have, like, a more down-to-earth vibes that I really liked for the first 2 previous seasons, and even the movie was just the brothers just kind of just chilling with one another. Like previously mentioned before, I do like the whole Osomatsu-San episode with Otsumatsu and Yan-chan, but I also really like the episode where, like, the brothers are, like, walking home from, like, a wedding that their friend had, and they kind of talk about, like, their future of, like, what if I got married? What if I had a kid? It was just, like, a good, just, like, really peaceful, like, character build for the characters, and it just felt really humble and sweet. Like, you hear Otsumatsu wanting to have, like, kids, and then you get to the Nyan-chan episode, it's like, he's good with kids. It kind of, like, correlates with one another. Like, that's really cool. Or, like, the episode where they all go, like, hiking together, and I just found that to be really cute and wholesome and just, like, good little ha-ha-hoo-hoos over the episode, but it was just like, I don't know, it was cute. I mean, they die at the end because they're dumb, but that's not surprising, you know? At least one episode they gotta, like, die at least, like, twice. Like, there's not really any more, like, notable episodes beside that, but I'm just, like, really sitting, I'm like, what could really have made season 3 felt so different in such a really jarring way? I have kind of a theory about maybe why Osomatsu-San season 3 turned out the way that it did. Think about the year that season 3 came out in. 2020. Yeah, that year. I know there was, like, plenty of, like, animes that had to be delayed because of the pandemic, and there's a lot of commentary when it came to the pandemic throughout the entirety of season 3, which, you know, it's understandable, and maybe that's why that this season felt very low energy, and it felt like that it needed to recycle itself because that's all the time they really had to do, maybe, possibly. Again, this is just like a big theory thing, this is just a, you know, big theory brain going on, but it just kind of feels like that, you know? Like, maybe they didn't really have time to, like, really utilize writing down specific types of skits, so it might have been easier to kind of, like, recycle certain elements of skits that they maybe have done beforehand, instead of just having to really, like, really push themselves during a time which nobody should have been pushing themselves. And, you know, there's moments where it's like, everyone's gone throughout the streets, like, nobody's on the streets or whatever, and It's like, yeah, I get that. Maybe that's why this whole sort of season felt the way that it did. It's just because, well, everyone kind of felt sort of disconnected because of 2020. It's because everyone kind of felt like isolated, and maybe that's why the season kind of felt like that to begin with. It's just a hunch, you know? It's just a massive hunch. And like, season 3 didn't even really have like a big sort of like dramatic like episode 24. It was just what it felt like to be like a regular episode of like the anime. Because when you think about episode 24 of seasons 1 and 2, they're more of the very more dramatic and very life-changing events that happen, even if it gets like immediately changed by like the very last episode of both seasons. Because season 1, all of it was very dramatic and very heartbreaking because Chonomatsu made this big decision to live on his own and get a job, and everyone followed suit, but there was like this massive like breakout with Osomatsu because he didn't like that change. He felt like everything was falling apart and everything felt like it was on a sour note. Like everyone's like, you know, doing their own things, they're moved out of the house, and Osomatsu-san is just kind of left alone by himself, and everyone just kind of feels lonely about it. While in season 2, episode 24, it goes to a more, like, uplifting and kind of the polar opposite of what it was in season 1, where they're literally doing it to help out their father who had, like, a medical, like, problem. And they're doing it so that way they can actually truly help out the family and make sure that, like, the mother isn't stressed out and the dad isn't stressed out. They can help provide stuff for the family, the money and all that stuff, if their dad isn't there to help provide if something like that ever happened again. Even if it still leaves Osomatsu not really liking that change, but he just knows that he has to do it, but by the end of it, like, wanting to do exactly what he wants to do. And of course they go to, like, hell in episode 25. I forgot to mention that in season 1, episode 25, they go to space and play baseball. I gotta say, even with no big drama, no big chaotic thing happening at the last episode, I actually do like how season 3 ends. It follows the same themes that it has going for the entirety of season 3, being very low-key. Last couple of episodes were kind of rough with, you know, being entertaining or whatsoever, but episode 25 just kind of ended on a really good positive note, especially when it was coming out at the time. The whole scene with Chonomatsu walking when the whole cherry blossoms were blooming and everyone was sitting together, laughing together, talking together. It was a time where probably a lot of people wish they could have that. It was something that they couldn't have at that moment, and they're just like recapsulating something that could have someday again. And luckily enough, nowadays I feel like some people can actually have that. I mean, there's still caution about that sort of thing nowadays, but it was kind of like having hope by the end of it. It's like things will go back to normal and things will go back to how it should be, and it ends just them just chilling in the bathhouse, just them just vibing and just having a good time with one another. It ends with feeling very commute, like very just together. It's very community felt. It's all jointed together, and it felt really nice, you know? I really appreciated the last episode because of that direction. Like, the first half of episode 25 was just these characters just walking around just trying to find stuff to do, but them just all coming together in a familiar spot where they like to hang out, being simple as like a bathhouse. It was surprisingly really touching. I was like, this is a really good note to end off of a season that and I know many others didn't particularly care for. I'm sorry if you hear bells ringing, that's my cat. If I let her inside, she'll climb on my chair like a monkey. But yeah, I know that I said a lot of negative things about this season, and I made sure to provide at least a good plethora of like good things that happened throughout the season. Looking back on it, yes, it is a season I felt like that struggled through and through, but I can't hate it. Like, I don't hate season 3 whatsoever. I may be massively critical of it, and my whole theory may give it a little bit more of a pass because of how I think why it turned out the way that it did. Again, don't quote me on that. I'm just making a theory about why season 3 turned out the way that it did. It's not the worst thing I ever seen. Like, there's a way worser out there that I've seen. It's not even like the worst season of a show ever. It's not like it's like gone down in like massive quality because of it, because there are literally still good elements in season 3, even if I'm very critical of season 3. It's not like Voltron where it got worse. The first 2 seasons of Voltron were great, or at least to me, like Rick and Morty. After season 3 ruined everything for me. Like, there are other shows that I've watched that the quality just kept going down. You could say even Agretsuko went that same direction too, like, from what I've heard. Like, season 1 was, like, the best season, apparently. I watched the first season, and I liked it, and then I heard the stuff that happened in, like, the other season, like, oh, that sucks. Like, there's other things that have got worse. Promise Neverland Season 2, I don't know why I exist. Like, there's so many others, like, series that sadly have, like, quality drops that I think are way worser the more the seasons go on than season 3 of Osomatsu-San. If this is the worst that it is, then it barely touches even, like, horrible category. Was it kind of disappointing? Sure. But do I think it's, like, the worst thing ever to come out of Osomatsu-San? No. That's Biamatsu. That's the worst thing that came out of this. Why do people ship the brothers? Just, like, ship Karamatsu with me! I want to kiss Karamatsu! No! And, like, Chitsumatsu already has Homura. Why was she's like my favorite background character. Why wasn't she in season 3? I don't know, ship Toddy with that one rich guy from some episodes and the movie for a second, and also that one episode where, like, Ichimatsu was like a bad cop and tried to kill him for a second. That wasn't too terrible, but it was also kind of really boring also at the same time. Season 3 really can't win in my book. I give a compliments and then I complain about it, I'm sorry. By the end of the day, I'm still very happy to still be a fan of the whole entire series. Like, one bad season's not gonna make me just immediately drop the show. Rick and Morty did that. Rick and Morty did it way worse. I hate the pickle episode. I hate Pickle Rick. But I generally do have a lot of fun just, like, connecting with people when it comes to Osomatsu-san. Like, one day I will talk about, self-insert, specifically surrounding Osomatsu-san, because, yes, I like self-inserting, and I do that a lot with Osomatsu-san. I love it, it's great. And I met so many people who are just so lovely and talented throughout the Otsu-san community. Everyone's just so, like, wonderful to talk to and so nice to talk to. It's like, yeah, you're gonna get, like, weird sides of, like, communities, like, once again, BL Matsu, and, like, some people being weird about it. Every fandom's like that. Generally, I really do just enjoy Osomatsu-san just as a whole. It's something that kind of became sort of a part of me in a sense. Like, it's something that helped me kind of get noticed as a YouTuber. A lot of people found me because of my Osomatsu-san reactions, and back then I was kind of, if I were to be honest, I was, like, really bitter that some people only saw me as the person who reacted to Osomatsu-san. But nowadays, I'm just happy that they found me in the first place. Like, they found somebody that they felt like they could connect to. They found somebody that, you know, resonated with how they felt about certain episodes. Like, how iconic, like, you know, season 1, episode 9 is and how strong and emotional it is. Or episode 5 with Ichimatsu and ESP Kitty, about showing just how insecure Ichimatsu is and how he generally wants to have good connections with people, but is just so afraid. There's a massive plethora of so many emotional episodes, and just, like, the characters themselves are just fun to connect to and just fun to just interact with in, like, just, you know, self-inserting for an example, or just, like, in art or in fiction or anything. There's so much, like, opportunities to what Osomatsu-san has as a whole that makes it so vastly available to a lot of people to enjoy and, you know, discover and have a lot of fun with. Like, I feel like a lot of people did get into Osomatsu-san because of the Obama clip that went around at the time. But generally, it's just, like, an anime that has, like, such a specific type of fan base, or, like, a specific type of, like, community that feels so large. But if you think about it at, like, the grand scale of, like, anime as a whole, at least to the Western audience, it's really tiny, because, like, it's not being compared to stuff like Boku no Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, all these big name animes. It's just kind of in its weird, big kind of bubble. Like, it's there, but only a few certain types of people see it, you know? It's transparent, but only certain people can see the bubble. I don't know what that analogy is, but that's how I view it. And it's really incredible just seeing just people be excited about what they think about the episodes. And I always love just reading comments about how they felt personally about the episode, because it's fun to see, you know, what they take away from the entire experience of an episode. And once again, yes, it is a comedy series, but there's so much to connect to when it comes to these characters when they do have their moments, and it's legitimately massively fantastic. Like, just rewatching the movie just made me just realize how just fun and great these characters are. Like, they're so fun and entertaining, and the world that is built in Osomatsu-San feels so grand, and it just feels so fun. Like, Osomatsu-San is just so fun. And even with a bad season, heck, a mediocre season, that's what I would call it, a very low 6 out of 10 season, I still love the series. It's a series that I've been able to connect with a lot of people with, and that's not going to go away anytime soon. In fact, it'll never go away. Let me just tell you, I really, like, fall out of things. Like, the only things I ever fell out from was Voltron and Homestuck, and also Rick and Morty, I guess, too. I was kind of in that sphere, but not anymore. But I'm really, really grateful that a lot of people did, like, watch my videos back in the day. Like, lovelies, it's been 10 years since season 1. That's whack crazy, isn't it? I was in such a different place in my life. I was still like in high school at that time. Like, I graduated in 2016 at high school, and then like season 2 I was still in college, and like season 3 I was still in college, but now with season 4 coming out, I'm out of college and things are different, but that's okay because things are changing, and I'm finally glad that they're changing once and for all, because that's life, and I'm really happy about that. Like, I changed my hair. It's not long. If you haven't watched since season 2, I don't really rock the long hair anymore. I really like my more shorter hair. I think it looks nice. It's a style. So yeah, it's great. Like, this was really fun to do, because as a retrospective, it's not just doing a retrospective of a season, but just this whole series as a whole, because yeah, crap, I've been with this franchise for 10 years. And like, I think about like other stuff that I grew up with, you know, like stuff like Kingdom Hearts or Sonic or Pokemon, or stuff I watched when I was younger, like Gravitation, Sergeant Frog, all those things. It's still, it's like weird. I don't know, it's weird, but also just really, really just, it's great. I don't know how to describe it. It's just something that I will forever always hold dear to my heart. This goofy anime about 6 little NEETs failing to get a job. Well, don't worry. I mean, I'm not a NEET because I went to college, but, you know, currently right now I don't have a job because I got laid off. Wee. But I genuinely do thank each and every individual who has ever watched not only any of my videos in general, but also has watched me with Osomatsu-san throughout all of these years. And to my Japanese audience, domo arigatou gozaimasu. I really appreciate you, just people from around the world, and like I said before, I got a lot of people commenting from Japan. It's amazing. I just like being able to like connect with people and just make people smile through so many different parts of the world, and I generally hope I can still continue to do that. Whatever direction that I take this channel, I hope that all of you can stick with me. I will always still be talking about anime on my channel. Like, sometimes I will be playing a lot of video games on my channel, I will admit. Sometimes things might feel a bit stale, but, you know, I rather build a lot of good, like, stuff, not quantity, but quality, over the course of how I keep building my channel. I'll just keep doing the things that I love, and, you know, if you want to stick around, that's fine. But, don't worry, you know, there's always gonna be fun things to talk about on the channel. I never stop yapping. I'm always gonna yap. That's how it is gonna be. If you don't particularly care for me to yap while I watch animes, you know, just go watch them yourselves. I don't want to ruin that experience for you if you don't want to watch me, you know, talk about how I want to kiss Karamatsu's face. Look, I know that was in the Ichimatsu in the first 2 seasons, but then the movie changed everything, and I want to freaking marry Karamatsu. He is a sweetheart, and also my tastes have changed. I used to be into the freaking, like, emo dudes like Hichimatsu, or at least the more quieter guys, and now I'm into, like, cringe lords like Karamatsu. It's just my taste, and I like his voice. I can't help it. Look, I know he's in Jujutsu Kaisen, the main VA. I can't hear Gojo, I hear Karamatsu, I just can't help it. That's just how it is. But I'm dragging this out, as I usually do, but I can't help it. I love talking, I love being able to share my thoughts and opinions. My final question is, what did you lovelies think about Season 3? Do you think it's overhated? Do you think it's underrated? Let me know in the comments below. Did you enjoy things about it? Did you just not like it, period? I generally do read the comments. I like hearing what you lovelies have to say, and I hate saying this, but if you like my videos, hit the subscribe button and like the video and share it with everyone, your friends, your neighbors, your cat, share it with everyone. I just want to keep doing YouTube as much as possible. I mean, I always do YouTube no matter what. It's fun. It doesn't matter how many people watch me. If one person smiles during watching my videos, then really, it truly is worth it. Like, legitimately. Like, I truly thank everyone on the bottom of my heart, whoever takes the time out of their day to watch anything that I do. It means a lot to me. It's very wonderful that people could watch someone like me. And I truly do mean it a lot. You know, over the years, I've come to really just massively appreciate myself a lot more and appreciate the things that I do. And I just generally hope that you feel, you feel like you're seen, or you feel like that you don't feel alone in things. I'm glad I can be there to just maybe brighten up your day. If I failed, I'm so sorry. I try my best to make people smile. It's my tagline of the channel, but I do my best. Another question is, what about season 4? Well, I think you need to watch this little sneak peek. Also, holy crap, I totally forgot to mention. Credit to the thumbnail artist. Love these stuff. They actually did the thumbnail art originally for when I try to do like episode reviews of season 3. I had another thing I commissioned out of them because I love both of the art that they did for me. Commissioned them both. Check out their stuff in the link in the description below. I finally at least got to show off these 2 incredible artwork pieces, so yeah, I'm happy about that. Go check them out. Alright, now here's the sneak peek. I'm so sorry. And Kiki did that. It's alright. So, season 4 reaction. I can't believe I'm actually doing this. I just wanted to do this to thank each and every one of you lovelies that stuck by me, but hey, anime, can I be in this season? I think it'd be really fun and cute. By the way, JoJo Reaction Series is never coming back. I love each and every one of you. Peace, my lovelies. See you next time.